Well, the situation, luckily in the recent period, can be considered as calm and stable. We see very positively the return of the Kosovo Serbs mayors in their functions following the local elections. And we also see very positively the starting, the initiation of a communication channel between the mayors and the Kosovo police. So we are quite positive on this domain. Of course, there are many challenges still to solve. There are potential triggers for tensions, but with the dialogue and with the support of the European institutions, we are confident that all the residual reasons of concerns could be addressed and solved in a peaceful and constructive way. Then there is the need to address any still pending challenge in the framework of the incorporating all the minorities and providing them all the rights that they deserve and enjoy. But incorporating this into the Kosovo system requires the definition of specific regulations, agreements and discussions that can only be addressed through the dialogue. Our role, as I said, is the role of second security responder. So if, but hopefully not, serious civil disturbances erupt, on the request of the Kosovo police, we could deploy it as public order providers and with the crowd and riot control capacities. But this is the last resort. Before achieving this level, we have a set of numerous tools that will facilitate the negotiation, reconciliation, discussion, and dialogue. Well, I would not comment too much on this area because, first of all, it is not our mandate, but there are other institutions. However, I can say one single consideration, that it is very positive that the Kosovo institutions were able to detect their own these flaws and to address them. This is proving that the democratic system is resilient. Then, of course, it is very unfortunate that this happened. But as I commented during my meeting with the national coordinator of the state prosecution, Mrs. Laura Pula, on this matter, it is extremely positive that this was detected and is being addressed at the proper level. So we will see then the results. And I will leave in the full ownership and self-sufficiency to the prosecution authority and to, of course, the Central Electoral Commission. We, first of all, expect that the constitution of the parliament will take place rapidly and smoothly, in line with the guidance from the Constitutional Court for solving several issues, and that a full-fledged government is soon formed. Of course, there are some challenges. with the recounting of the votes, as well as the shorter time frame we have before the election of the president. So we are very much, let's say, attentive to all these developments, because the solution of these problems is paramount for building on the institutions and the legal framework for the future. We expect that, first of all, several leadership positions that have been kept for a long time in acting positions are filled with full-fledged managers in order to have a more long-term vision on ongoing projects and needs. So the justice system in Kosovo, as I said, is taking advantage of a very good legal framework, which is inspired to the highest and better standards in Europe and in the world. However, there is a difference between the legal framework and then its implementation, which from time to time is proving to be challenging for several reasons: structural reasons, procedural reasons, undue interference, and other aspects. Even though we have no longer an executive function, particularly in the field of security, we still retain a role as a second security responder, which can only be activated by an explicit request from the Kosovo police. However, this role also requires from us the capacity to grant situational awareness and detect possible tensions on the ground in order to be able to react and to act properly. So we are granting the presence of our formed police units, mainly in the north, but also in the rest of Kosovo when necessary, through a system of reconnaissance patrols that enable our operators to know the environment and to detect, as I said, the possible reasons for tension. We are constantly training with the other security responders, mainly the Kosovo police and KFOR, in order to grant interoperability and the capacity to work together in case of need, as well as we deployed from time to time, when it was needed, our reserved formed police unit, particularly during the local elections, in order to be ready for any possible emergency. Luckily, there was not this need. All the elections, the political elections, the local elections, were carried out very smoothly, with no significant incidents. We found some flaws, of course, in the capacity to address high-profile cases in the justice, the duration of the trials, the frequent retrials, then the capacity to address some areas, corruption, juvenile and justice, domestic violence, and we also monitored the capacity of the police to grant accountability for possible ill treatment, and as well as the way some regulations concerning the hate speech are implemented and interpreted in relation also to the freedom of expression.